Hello, welcome to the facility configuration page of the second part of PASS. This is probably the most important page of the second part because all the design will take place in this moment. So we will see how to configure a facility, which means how to select the services, the department that we want to put in, and how to size those departments, which means deciding how many beds we want to put, how many users for certain spaces. We'll start first with the definition of the service configuration. So as you can see in this block, health facility design, you have 6 buttons. The first of them is service configuration. You click and you see this form. It's pretty easy to use it. You choose, simply clicking here, ticking this box, the department that you want, and you select the level, the configuration according to what we saw in the previous page. 1 is basic, 2 is typical, 3 is advanced, and you simply click and selecting what you want. Once you are happy with your choice, you click New Configuration. The message is warning you that you are about to create a new facility configuration, which means that if you had a previous selected configuration, that one will be erased and substituted with a new one. It's not our case because, as you can see, the list is empty. It's our first configuration, and we will see later in few minutes how to add or delete a single department, a single service from our configuration. So let's proceed. We should receive a confirmation message. That's it. And let's exit from this form. Okay, now we see that 2 lists have been created, and the first one on the left, you see the breakdown of the department with all the functional spaces according to the type, the configuration that we selected, and they are all reported in this list on the left. On the right, there is a similar list, but only with at the level of department. As you can see, these tables, they have columns for the bed, in this case bed user, and special, which stands for special users, that are still empty, because we haven't yet inserted those specific parameters. We will do so in a minute. Okay, now that we have learned how to configure a facility, let's make a small exercise. Let's make for real a design of an health facility. Let's choose a department, whatever you want. Let's stay with the outpatient department. It's simple and easy. We'll make a nice outpatient health post. Let's say that we decide that we are happy with a basic configuration, number 1. So we need, of course, the outpatient, the lab, and the sterilization. We have a look at the specific configuration in terms of functional spaces, and once again we are happy with the basic configuration. We have a look to the lab, and okay, there is the blood bank in the third, but we don't want to do it. The sputum TB lab in the second setup, no, it's too much. So okay, also for the lab we want a basic configuration. Then we have the sterilization, and the sterilization once again it's fine in its basic configuration. So now we know what we want, and we go to the second step, and we want to we make the design. Here we see that we have already selected something. That's not a big deal. I will teach you a small trick. So you go here, you don't select any service, you click New Configuration, you say yes, and then once it's confirmed, you click Exit. Always click Exit when you go away from a user form. We wait a few seconds. As you can see, everything has been erased. So let's create our nice outpatient post from scratch. We need patient, we need lab, both first level, new configuration, yes. Okay, and voila, that's it. Okay, we have the lab and the outpatient. Oops, of course, we forgot the sterilization. Oh, we have to do everything from scratch? No, in these cases there is the option to add one service at a time. So we go here, we choose the service that we want to add. We have the option 1, 2, 3, and there is also a 0, because in case we want to delete a service, we will select 0. So you select, you click Add, you confirm your choice, and it has been done. Now we are really happy because we have the 3 services with all the room. But there are still no bed, no user, the facility is not sized. So let's start with the bed. Okay, we have our form, and we have to select. Let's start with the patient. Of course, there will be no inpatient services, though, so no clinical bed, but only examination table. So in this case, it's telling us that only the consultation room has to be provided with the examination table, and we say that we want 2 of them. Let's say 4, and I click Add. Okay, I check again to be sure if there is any other space to be sized. No, I go to the lab, and it's telling me that I have to put something in the collection room, and I say, okay, let's put 2 bed or whatever you want to use in your collection room. Voila. And that's pretty much it for this small health post. I click Exit. Okay, now as you can see in the list, under the column bed, there are the 2 examination table in the collection room and the 4 in the consultation room. So now PASS knows that he has to size those spaces according to the number of bed that I want to put inside. So the room will be sized according to the minimum floor area plus the area required for every extra bed. The same principle is for the users. There are spaces like, let's see which one of them in the patient department that needs to be sized according to the user. So the administration is going to be a small office where we imagine to have 2 people working there. So we click 2 and we add. Then we have the staff changing room. We imagine that we want to allow 3, let's say 2 people to change at the same time. And then we have the waiting area. How many people do we want? We think that will wait to be visited. Let's say it's a small place, let's say 30 at the time. Okay. And then we go to the lab and we see that there is again a waiting area that is foreseen. It's going to have a smaller volume. Let's put 8 people sitting in the waiting area. Okay, so this is it. and I click exit. Okay, as you can see, now the user column has been is populated with the number we just inserted. Then we have our last bottom, which is called special user capacity. Let's see which one are indicated. It's in the lab, and in particular it's the main lab. So what is the special user number? What I'm asked here. If you don't know, what you can do is basically well, you can exit here. Okay, you go in the fourth page of this step of PASS, where all the as you can see, usually you should see something like this. There are 1, 2, 3, 7 families of parameters. In this case, we want to look at the architectonic design parameters, and we see that we have these tables. We will see in another video in details how this page works. But for the moment, we just go to this table, specific functional spaces, and as you can see also range name special user, which is assigning the floor area for rooms with a specific requirements related to the space user. So as you can see, for the lab operator, there is an indication that for each lab operator you need 2.6 square meter per person. The reason, the explanation of that figure is provided in this comment. So basically there are a few computations saying a few assumptions saying that each technician need a certain length of working bench, and to work comfortably he end up needing 2.6 meters per operator. So every time that you insert in the lab the number of users, that number will be multiplied by this factor, and this space, this area requirement will be added to the minimum floor area requirement. So now we know what we are doing, which is always a good thing. And we go back to page 2, we go back to the special user capacity bottom, we go back to lab main laboratory functional space, and now we know that we are required to insert the number of technicians that will work in that space, and let's say that it's gonna be 3. You add, and that's it. There is no other functional space that needs to be sized. So actually that's it, because we have been providing all the design parameters required to size the facility. You might ask yourself, for example, what happened to the sterilization? We haven't inserted any user or bed or whatever. For those rooms, the ones that are not popping up in the menus when you click the buttons, are functional spaces or rooms that are not dependent on beds or users. They have a fixed space. So, for example, the toilet is always around 1 square meter. The same applies for the sterilization. The design parameters that are considered default telling PASS that for those rooms you don't need to know the number of users, because the size is going to be always the same. So I think for this video it's better to stop here. In the next one we will populate the facility, providing the human resources. As you can see, actually I already give you a hint in this table. Already there are some staff and caretaker and visitors that are already counted. I will tell you in the next video why is that. Goodbye.